Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to another Mattel figure review. This time I have got a basic and it is of Emma. This is part of the latest series. It's a pretty good series actually. It's got it there on the back, so you've got John Cena, you've got Kevin Owens, you've got The Rock, you've got Roman Reigns. That Demon Kane is insane. It looks absolutely amazing. Sheamus, the Emma and Samoa Joe, which looks pretty poor actually. Just wanted to take a moment to talk about Emma because she's not someone that gets talked about or mentioned that much. And the reason for that is because she's had a few injury troubles before and also some pretty bad luck. You know, when she originally was called up, she formed a partnership with Santino Marella and Santino ended up getting injured and had to step away, and it kind of left her on her own, and she bobbed around a little bit but then ended up going back down to NXT. She was able to reinvent herself, and this really is, you know, it's NXT branded, and this is a figure really, I suppose, of that reinvention. She started wrestling in 2007. She was trained by Lance Storm, so she's got a good pedigree behind her. She was wrestling for PWA Australia, and she was known as Valentine, and then she moved over to Canada and she was doing a lot of work with Shimmer. This is about 2009 to 2011. She was working for Extreme Canadian Championship Wrestling as well, so she was kind of really getting quite a bit of exposure around North America and Canada, and so it's no great surprise that in 2012 she gets signed to FCW, which at the time was WWE's kind of developmental. It was Florida Championship Wrestling. She finds herself down there working with the likes of Bayley and actually beating the likes of Bayley in the very, very early days. And then when it kind of moves over to become NXT, because it kind of morphed into NXT, she finds herself really near the top of that kind of women's division, and when they do the inaugural women's championship, the NXT Women's Championship, and they launch that, they hold a tournament to find the first women's champion. Emma beats Aksana in round 1. She beats Summer Rae in round 2, and then she has a match against Paige in the final of that tournament, which is really, for me, one of the most important matches in NXT history. I think actually they included it on the NXT DVD that was released not that long ago. Unfortunately, Emma comes up short, but it's a great match. And she does herself no harm whatsoever. And, you know, not long after that, as you said, gets called up to the main roster, and unfortunately has to come back down to NXT. She forms a bond with Dana Brooke. And then WrestleMania 32, she gets called back up again, and she's part of that 10 women Diva tag team match. Sadly, Emma got an injury in the middle of May and has been off since, but news reports are she's actually been cleared to return for a few weeks now. It'll be interesting to see where she goes. She's a big talent, she's a great worker, she's strong on the mic. And I know originally the plan was that it was going to be her and Dana that kind of stuck together. When she got injured, Dana had to kind of go over to Charlotte. And in fact, that's how Dana came up. Dana came up because Emma was being interviewed and Dana kind of stepped in on that interview, and all of a sudden Emma's best friend was standing by her side. So I'm really interested to see what the future holds for Emma, because she can do it all. She's a real good worker that's worked through that kind of independent scene. So let's have a look at the figure. I've got a big problem with this without even opening it, and it is the top part of the ring attire. It has just been painted onto the body and it doesn't look right. It looks like she paints the top part of her body silver when she doesn't. She has proper like ring attire that goes all the way around, like a proper top, and I find it quite distracting. I don't understand why Mattel couldn't have just gone that little bit further to have got that detail correct. But there's a picture of Emma on the packaging. You might be able to just see what I was talking about with the figure. But let's get it open and we'll see if it's any better when it's actually out. because it's a basic, it'll be, oh, that's cool. Quick to remove, and it was quick to remove. Now, this isn't by any means a disaster, right? My only criticism is, and I'm not sure if you can kind of make it out, but as I said, the top part there, where it's just been painted onto the body, I do have an issue with that. But there are some wonderful details with this figure. There are some great things that I think they've done. It doesn't have knee pads. For whatever reason, she doesn't wear them. I wish she would, because I think she should. But I absolutely love the gloves. As you can see, they're just normal hands that have been painted again, but it's a nice detail. The cool thing about her gloves is that they're very short. They only come down to about here. They're not like proper gloves, and they've really got that detail absolutely bang on. As I said, the fact it doesn't have pads, I think, is really cool. And I really like the detail on the top and the trunks. You know, there's some nice kind of lines on the back there, which is a nice detail. And then all the way around, you know, you've got these kind of like dots going all the way around. It's kind of like the elastic band, I suppose, of the ring attire. It looks cool. It looks really, really smart. And then to finish it off, you've got the hair. I think the hair looks awesome. Looks just like her kind of hair. And then you've got the facial expression. It's like a really disgusted, I am better than you kind of facial expression, which I think is really cool. This is a good basic, right? I'm more impressed now that I've got it out and I can see it. That facial expression is particularly impressive. And for me, with the gloves, the detail on the ring attire, the facial expression, this is, I'm going to say that this is a strong 8. I'm going to mark it down a point for the top part of the attire. If they'd have fixed that, that could have been a 10 out of 10, but I'm going to give it a strong 8. Awesome, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you like this figure? Are you interested in getting this figure? Is Emma someone that you are a fan of? Maybe you've never even heard of her because she's not been, you know, exposed on the main roster that often. So maybe you're waiting to see what she's like when she returns in these kind of new brand split days. Awesome, guys. Please give the video a like if you liked it. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.